Module Overview. To empower you with a comprehensive and technical understanding of texture rendering, tonal development, and advanced shading techniques in drawing. This module emphasizes observational awareness, mastery of light and shadow, surface quality replication, and precision in value control. By the end of this module, you will possess the skills to render form with depth, realism, and artistic nuance through tonal manipulation and detailed texture rendering. Understanding tonal values. Tonal value refers to the lightness or darkness of a color or shade in drawing, regardless of hue. It is fundamental for building form, volume, and depth on a two-dimensional surface. 1. Value scale. A tonal gradient from white to black, typically illustrated in 5, 7, or 9-step scales, helps artists calibrate contrast and understand midtones, highlights, and shadows. 2. High key versus low key. High key drawings dominated by lighter values, often used for ethereal or dreamlike scenes. Low key drawings emphasize darker tones, ideal for dramatic, moody compositions. 3. Contrast and range. Full value range, Hawk's more realistic renderings. Limited value range, Hoffrey's more stylized or abstract output. Light and shadow principles. Understanding how light interacts with form is crucial for believable shading. 1. Light source and direction. Establishing a primary light source allows for consistent shadow behavior, key to constructing cast and core shadows properly. 2. Types of shadows. Highlight, the brightest area on a lit surface. Halftone, light midtones transitioning from highlight. Core shadow, the darkest shadow on an object. Cast shadow, shadow that the object projects onto another surface. Reflected light, light bouncing into shadowed areas. 3. Multiple light sources. Complex lighting scenarios produce nuanced shadows and highlights. Requires skillful blending and observation. Shading techniques. Different shading techniques offer various surface effects and artistic styles. 1. Hatching parallel lines placed close or far apart to represent tone. Direction and density affect the intensity of shading. 2. Cross-hatching. Overlapping sets of hatching lines. Builds complexity, depth, and texture simultaneously. 3. Stippling use of dots to create tone and texture. Time-intensive but effective for fine detail and soft tonal transitions. 4. Scumbling circular, scribbled strokes to develop tone or simulate irregular textures. 5. Blending softening edges and transitions using blending stumps, tissue, fingers, or brushes, common with graphite, charcoal, or pastels. Rendering surface textures. Textures represent the tactile quality of a surface. Effective texture drawing demands close observation, stylization, and repetition. 1. Categories of texture. Organic textures, fur, skin, bark, grass. Geometric, man-made textures, fabric, brick, concrete, metal. 2. Observational strategy. Identifying repeating patterns, highlight structure, and shadow behavior. Mapping light behavior to surface irregularities. 3. Simulated texture versus invented texture. Simulated based on real-life reference and accuracy. Invented, stylized, or imagined, used for abstraction or animation. Volume and form through shading. Shading transforms flat shapes into volumetric forms. 1. Light logic on basic forms. Sphere, cube, cylinder, cone, foundational for understanding all shading. Studying how light behaves on these helps with any object or figure. 2. Gradation. Smooth tonal transitions help simulate curves and folds. Gradation is especially useful for skin, cloth, and organic surfaces. 3. Edge quality. Hard edges. High contrast areas with abrupt tone changes. Soft edges. Gradual shifts, suggesting curvature or soft textures. Lost and found edges. Visually interesting areas where edges disappear and reappear due to lighting. Tools and materials for tonal rendering. Different media affect texture and tonal qualities. Graphite pencils, H to B, range from hard light to soft dark. Charcoal, rich blacks, dramatic tones. Conte crayon, useful for classic tonal studies. Pastels, vibrant and blendable. Erasers, used not just for correction, but for lifting light areas. Developing personal style with texture and tone. 1. Balancing technique and expression. Knowing when to push realism versus abstraction. Stylized textures for storytelling, mood, and aesthetics. 2. Combining methods. Layering, stippling over hatching. Using blended graphite with sharp highlights for contrast. Learning outcomes. By completing this module, you will master tonal value and apply accurate light logic. Use various shading techniques effectively to render form. Replicate realistic textures and invent artistic surface qualities. Understand the psychological and visual impact of tonal contrast. Blend texture and tone to create depth and mood.